Congresswoman Joyce Beatty.
It is indeed my honor to join my colleagues tonight to recognize and celebrate 150 years of excellence in education at HBCUs. Thank you, Congresswoman Alma Adams from North Carolina's 12th Congressional District for leading the charge tonight. And to our CBC Chairman, Congressman Cedric Richmond, thank you for allowing us to come forward and not only tell our stories about the 150 years, but to demonstrate to all of those, Mr. Speaker, who are watching tonight, that we set an example for others to follow. The 9 HBCUs celebrating their 150th anniversary this year have been educating and transforming Black students across this nation into leaders. For 150 years, HBCUs have weathered the violence of Jim Crow laws, funding cuts to continue to be the light in many of our overlooked communities. While my alma mater, Central State University, hasn't been here for 150 years, it was established in 1887, and in 2014, it received the designation as a land-grant university, the last of the HBCUs to become a land grant. But for 130 years, Central State University has been that light, that training ground for African American change makers. African American change makers in a nation like you see in this picture. It was just a few months ago as I traveled back for my homecoming to celebrate with friends and classmates 130 years. 130 years of a university that has produced classmates like Nancy Wilson, Leontine Price, Orlando Brown, Arsenio Hall, Jason Thomas, a United States Marine who was there during the aftermath of 9/11 and rescued people. Also, we have people like Elizabeth Elford, one of the Little Rock Nine, a group of African American students who, as we all remember, in 1957, were the first Black students ever to attend classes at Little Rock Central High School. I am very thankful for 40-plus years of friendships with individuals like Zenobia LaVale. And when I think of Linda Brown, and as we call her Lulu, for organizing this picture, because we stand tall and we represent all sectors of this community. Central State provided an education from this little girl from Dayton, Ohio. When my mother and father sat down and they were able to put their dollars and cents together to not only send me, but to send every one of my siblings to a HBCU university. And they said, we want you to go there, but we want you to come back. Little did they know that I would stand in the halls of Congress and advocate for HBCU universities. Attending Central State University changed my life. And it's important for you to know, when we talk about HBCUs, I know it all too well. Just yesterday, I sat at our kitchen table with my grandbabies and their parents and my husband. And our conversation, I was so proud because, you see, it was Howard University, Morehouse University, and Spelman University that produced us. When you think about my husband, an attorney, a graduate of Howard University. When you think about Otto III, an attorney and entrepreneur and graduate of Morehouse College. When you think of Laurel Beatty Blunt, a common pleas court judge and a graduate of Spelman College. I am so proud that when I sat there and I looked at my grandbabies, Leah and Spencer, and as Leah beamed because she was wearing a t-shirt that said, I'm spellman bound, Grammy. And then there's Spencer, who will be going to Morehouse. That's because we stand on the shoulders of so many. Why do we come tonight? We come to tell you that 40% of all black members of Congress, graduates of HBCUs, 12.5% of all black CEOs, HBCUs, half of all the black professors at non-HBCUs, 50% of all black lawyers, graduates of HBCUs, and 80% of all black judges, graduates of HBCUs. When I think about today, with Trump's administration and with their proposals to cut Pell Grants, when I think about the threats to hold construction grants, when I think about Republicans' assault on students in the Republican tax scam hike, it's a sad day in America. We come today because we want our voices to be heard, because we know, in the words of one of our own, Barbara Jordan, education remains the key to both economic and political empowerment. That is why schools charged with educating African Americans have, perhaps, the deepest challenge of all. Mr. Speaker, let me end by saying two things. In the words of Nelson Mandela, and I think it sums it all up, education is the most powerful weapon you can have to change the world. And that is why I stand here with my colleagues, standing up for HBCUs, standing up that this administration will understand that we expect, no, we demand to get the appropriate funding so our children, our grandchildren, and generations yet unborn will have the same opportunities that I have had and so many more. Because when HBCUs succeed, America succeeds. Thank you, Chairwoman, Congresswoman Alma Adams. I yield back.
And thank